Hey everyone, Dan here, Good Earth Water Gardens, coming at you today from our showroom. And today I'm going to show you all how we clean out a Pondless Waterfall. So the first step we're going to do is unplug the water feature, get our outlet sitting right underneath here. Go ahead and plug the pumps. Alright, so now the water is off. You can kind of see why we would clean this feature out, why it's necessary. We just have algae and stuff that's kind of growing on the rocks, leaves kind of damming up over in this area. The waterfall, we have some bare liner showing, debris and stuff that's kind of accumulating in the reservoir. If you don't clean that out, stuff can really start breaking down and turn into just some real mucky, sludgy stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do is we want to take our pumps out. Lift up the vault lid, see our reservoir. Now I'm going to get my channel locks or a big pair of pliers to undo some of these union couplings. Not always necessary, you can use your hands. Sometimes they're on there a little tighter, and the channel locks just make it a lot easier. Alright, now that our couplings are undone, we can start taking our pumps out. We have two in here for the electric flow. Next thing we're going to do is stick our clean out pump down in this reservoir, pump out all that dirty water. Alright, now it's just time to plug it in. So while we wait for our reservoir to drain, now's a good time to start picking out the bigger debris and go ahead and have a little 5-gallon bucket, start taking this stuff up and just put it in the bucket, and that'll get a lot of that bigger stuff out. The reservoir is all pumped out. So now we're going to start power washing the stream and just getting everything flushed out at the top here, and even get a lot of the flushing done down here at the bottom of the reservoir too. And if you're going to have one tool for this job, I highly recommend having a good pressure washer. A pressure washer will really make all the difference whenever you clean the rocks off. Stuff that your garden hose just really isn't going to get. Even if you have a really high pressure nozzle, you're just not going to be able to get the feature as clean if you have a power washer. Here I've taken out a lot of the gravel, put it in the wheelbarrow over here, and you can see in this area, you know how that gravel is nice and clean looking when I power wash it on top? Well, down here below, this is what it can look like if the feature isn't properly cleaned out. So I'm going to go ahead and power wash and just thoroughly rinse through all this area, get this nice and clean. We're also going to come in with more large sized pieces of gravel like this. We call these cobbles, and you can see if we put in rocks that are larger like this, they're going to create more of a void space and not trap so much sediment. So you can see our aqua blocks are nice and clean now, so we'll probably flush this really well. And actually the bottom, the deepest part of our reservoir is actually at the foot of this vault. You just see how murky that water is, and that means a lot of that sediment and debris has gone to the bottom of our vault. So we go ahead and just pump that out, flush it, and that'll get this whole entire reservoir nice and clean. All right, we got another little trick to the trade here that we're pulling out. We've been filling this 500-gallon fish tub up with water and stuck our clean out pump into the fish tub right here. And what this allows us to do is to take this pump and use it like a clean out hose. Right here on this end, we have this fire hose nozzle, and that acts as like a big spray hose that allows the water to discharge and really thoroughly flush out the stream, and then pump all our dirty water out of the reservoir. After you get done power washing, it's a good idea to at least take your garden hose and flush out the stream really well. Pressure washer does a really good job getting all that stuff off the rocks, but a lot of times it kind of settles back in there. You can see how dirty some of this water is. So while Will has been flushing the stream, I went ahead and added more of our cobblestones down to the bottom of this reservoir. So we've been flushing for a little bit now, and you can see the water doesn't have that chocolate milk, just soupy color. It's a lot clearer, and you're never going to make the water just run super crystal clear, but it's ideal if you can get it where you're at least seeing some sort of transparency in the water. We're pretty much at that phase, and now we're going to get ready to flush out our vault. So we've pumped out our vault here for the second time, and now what we're going to do to really get it nice and clean is get our shop vac right over here and suck out all that remaining kind of debris and sludge just there at the bottom. Also, another thing you'll probably notice whenever you clean out your vault is gravel and rocks sometimes get down in the bottom of the vault, so this is an ideal time to take that gravel out too. That's what a clean vault looks like down at the bottom. Got our gravel back in our reservoir, pumps hooked up, vault lid on top. We're about ready to start filling this thing up. With this fish tub here that we have hooked up, we can just pump our water now from this tub into our reservoir. It'd be a pretty easy process once we plug the pump in. So we're gonna go ahead and get our waterfall fired back up. We always want to check the edges and make sure that we didn't sink anything or make something settle. If it was fine before and then you find out that you have a leak, it's probably something you caused, and most of the time it's because there's a low edge somewhere. So right now we're gonna get our liner back kind of tucked in together. Not leaking, we'll go ahead and cover up a lot of these lighting wires and the rest of this parts of the liner, make it to look like you only see the rock. Now we are basically finished up with our clean out. See, everything is put back together, water's looking a little clear. Just those little finishing touches really help blend it in and make it look just as good as the day it was installed. The last thing I'm going to do is add treatments to the pond, beneficial bacteria, clean for fountains, and that will help break down some of that solid debris. All I really need to do is buy 1 squirt of this into the Pondless Waterfall, and then just a tiny bit amount of this concentrated bacteria. Treatments do add up, they can be a little expensive, so use them wisely. So that's how we clean out a pondless waterfall. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative and got a little bit more information about how our process is and how to properly clean one out too. I know that not everybody is going to have access to the tools and equipment that we have, but hopefully you understand the basics of what you need to do and what's important and how to really get it nice and clean. If you want to see more videos like this and check out on how we're doing on our job sites and builds too, please hit that like button, subscribe, and even leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about things. See you on the next one.